And I'm Mike.
And this is Comedy Filmmakers Motivation Monday.
The podcast.
And I'm Carl.
Hey, Carl!
Hey, guys.
I am so happy that week after week you continue to show up to this podcast.
Yeah, I'm glad I was available.
It's so great to have you back.
It's good to be back.
We're grateful doesn't even begin to cover it.
How's this? What's the show like when I'm not here?
Dude, it's not
quiet.
You don't have to say that.
It's not as motivational. Look, we are not as inspired without you. You inspire the inspired.
Wow.
I would venture to say you're one of the that motivates the motivators.
Ooh.
This ship would have hit the iceberg if it wasn't for you steering it solidly into the night.
That's amazing. Speaking of what this show is about, you're listening to a podcast about some comedy filmmakers. We're just trying to make it in the industry, in the entertainment, film and TV.
Some would say we are making it in the industry.
Thank
From
you.
the outside eye, we've got it going on, man.
We're breaking in. Hey, if you're gatekeeping the film and TV industry, get ready because we're coming through that gate.
We're coming through that gate.
Hot, coming in.
If you're replacing and repairing the ceiling on that glass ceiling, look out.
Yeah, don't bother. Okay, don't spend too much money on that glass because Sid's gonna break.
break it again.
So we're following that journey in this podcast, and we are using it as a way to motivate ourselves as we navigate the trials and tribulations of pitching a TV show.
It is working.
And as we motivate ourselves, we're hoping that it motivates you fine folks out there on the internet.
Well said. We also have a guest every week, and we love to talk to them about their journey.
It is really inspiring. This podcast is really keeping me going. And I think you just rubbed off on Mike, by the way. You hear that folks get in there? Did
I say folks?
Yeah, I think, Carl, you're really rubbing off on Mike.
For the record, I have never rubbed off on Mike. I just want to make sure that we get that out there.
Yeah, I need to talk to HR, actually.
Yeah, look, anytime I rubbed off on Mike, it was consensual. I can tell you that.
Or are you saying I was asking for it?
No, I asked you for it, and you said yes.
Oh man!
Right.
And now we're both saying folks.
Really redefining like sidebarring with one another. Hey, Carl and Mike just
we did not sidebar. We rubbed off, but we did not sidebar.
All right, Carl,
True.
Can you get us back on track? Because this is too much for me.
I've got nowhere to go. Well, we're going to talk about our week, and I'll talk a little bit. I got to tell you, I had a cool week, good at work, productive for the podcast, but folks, I wrote 3 scripts.
Wow.
They are awesome.
They are
and I was
fantastic.
so inspired.
Well, I've read 2 out of the 3 because the third one came through while I was driving.
Yes.
And
good safety choice.
No, I read it. No, I didn't. I didn't read it.
You don't have Siri read it to you?
Ooh, that's a good idea. She can read text messages.
Interior, Sid and Mike's apartment. Day. Sid and Mike are sitting on the couch smoking weed.
That's what the
you wish.
What kind of scripts did you write, Carl? Tell the people.
I don't want to give away too much, but they are all somewhere. They're all kind of in the podcast world. So I'm inspired by the podcasting lifestyle that we've chosen to live, and there's going to be more on that soon. But they are.
Would you say you're motivated?
I'm motivated as.
When did you write that last script?
Literally, like.
Right.
What day was it?
It was today.
It was Monday?
I wrote it on Motivation
You were
Monday.
motivated by the podcast to write a podcast script on a Monday.
I wrote a script.
I love this.
This might be our last episode. Our jobs
let's
are
shut
done.
it down. Let's shut it down.
I would say that this was a success.
So just check in our show notes. We've got all of our gear listed and some prices. It's all going to be really reasonable, so you should come, buy up that gear.
It's a fire sale.
Sid, Mike, what did you guys get up to this week?
What did I get up to this week? I started a job, a real job.
Survival mode job, would you say?
It was a big survival mode job. I'm producing. It's an ad agency, and I forgot what it's like to go back and forth between creative life and, corporate life. And I, at first, for a long time, here's the thing. So, like, the winter was really rough for us. The beginning of the year was really rough. And I was like, I'm going to go get a full-time job. I'm going to go get that health insurance. I can't believe I'm freelancing. Like, I am crazy. And I was looking, and while I was looking, my heart was just not in it. I was like, I do not belong on LinkedIn. Like, let me tell you about it. Oof. So, right? Yeah, it hurts even here.
It's the pipeline to
so here
salaried jobs.
And and I was getting stuck in that pipe. Like, I was not moving. There was no traction being made.
You got some experience getting pipelines all stuck
Clogging
up.
the pipelines? Yeah, let me tell you. Okay, so I get this job, and immediately I was like, absolutely not. I'm doubling down on my dreams. I need to make this happen. I need to work with my friends. I need to live a creative life. This life that I thought was maybe for me in my survival mode instinct, I learned this week very clearly that it is not. And I became even more grateful for you guys. And what we're doing. And I think for a while there, I was not convinced. Like, I lost faith there. And it is back, baby.
Yeah.
And also it has to do with the podcast. It's really been keeping me going.
Yes. Thank you, podcast.
Yeah, so I haven't, we've been running the social media accounts, Carl, so that's been taking a lot of my time.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I helped Gam move, as Mike calls her.
That's great.
My grandma's moving. So
We love you, Gam Gam.
Emotional.
Shout out to Gam Gam.
Well, the industry is back open, and auditions are picking up, people. I had a full slate of auditions last week, finally, for the first time. For the first time this year. It's March, and I finally had a bunch of them. So I did some. I don't know which ones I can talk about.
You didn't do all of them?
I'll tell you.
Tell us the most risky one.
Yeah, I'll tell you the. Okay, so an Apple TV show. No, it's
The iPhone 17.
Yeah. No, but I've had a bunch of auditions that really kept me going. One guest star and a few co-stars. So for the difference between guest stars and co-stars, I don't know what it is.
Regardless, you are a star. Okay.
You know what?
You don't need anything before that word star.
They both have star in them.
And that's awesome. Congratulations, dog.
A guest star is a star that leaves. And a co-star is a star with someone else. That's the difference.
Well, speaking of star, why don't we start talking about our weekly topic?
All right.
Thanks, Carl.
We like that one?
I liked that. That was good.
Our topic this week is pick a project.
Woo!
All right. I would say that we are all, the industry term is multi-hyphenates. And we have a lot of skills.
Writer,
we have
director, actor,
editor, producer, Broadway singer, as you might
craft
hear.
services.
Bonus
I've
materials.
done some crafty. I did crafty on Blackaroni and cheese, and let me tell you.
Yep. I've been a production designer.
I've done costumes to my dismay, as Mike knows. Really dragging me along to do wardrobe.
If I walked in and Sid was my wardrobe person, I would walk right back out and say, "Where's my equity representative?"
What?
But the point is, like, we have varied skills and we have varied interests, and so we let's just like break it down. We've got a podcast, we've got a TV show or two that we're working on scripts for. We have a feature film that we're working on scripts for. We have an entire body of sketch work that we've done. We're also interested in. I'm interested in music. We're all interested in, like,
there's an animated idea I want to get into.
Cartoons.
Can we say the title of the animated one?
Sid and Mike. I mean, Squid and Pike.
Oh yeah,
Under the Sea.
Yeah, Under the Sea.
It's a Disney themed episode, folks.
It's a slippery slope.
See if you can find all
that's
the.
That's one of the episodes.
So the point is, when you have all these interests and you have the ability to pair with those interests, and you want to work on a personal project, how do you decide what gets your creative energy? How do you decide what gets your time?
Money.
In this case, there's no money involved. This is you deciding, all right, I have some free time. I need to pick up a new project. How do I get started? I guess my question, Mike, since you brought it up on a previous episode, what made you decide to work on that other piece, that other TV pilot piece that we talked about a few episodes ago?
Well, a friend came to me with, he said he wanted to do something with me, and we like kicked around some ideas, and we came up with an idea that we both kind of we both were into, which was a rideshare driver that is too old to be living at home with his mother still, but still does, and thinks he's like, one of his ideas is going to make it onto Shark Tank, but he's a little delusional about that as well. And we
if you've ever had an Uber driver, you know that this is actually extremely accurate.
Specifically also in Los Angeles, I have to say you cannot get in an Uber there without them telling you what their side hustle is.
Yeah, so
Main
that's
hustle.
definitely where the idea came from, and we liked it. So we kind of just ran with that, we shot that thing.
I feel like from a performance standpoint, you were looking for something where you would be playing a role that would be more
main character
driven and driven by what's the opposite of what drives Mike and Sid and Mike? Like
Sid?
Driven by real emotions and feelings
Right.
versus like cartoon reactions to crazy things happening.
That's a great point. Yeah, no, I did want to see. You know what? Like, yeah, as an actor, I believed that I could lead a narrative, fictional story.
Or you did.
Well, I didn't. Yes, I did, but I didn't know before I did it if I could. I really didn't, and I was like, I want to try to do this, and I want to see if I can carry a show in a lead position. And like, I am really, really happy with my work. I think that it's a fun show, and I think that like I think I did a good job.
I am really impressed. You
Thank
did.
you.
I would definitely trust you to carry a show.
In the performance, and also I think you saved that show in the writing and the editing as well. To be honest,
you did. You did.
but maybe we'll cut that from this episode. We'll see. You did a great
Jacob
job.
Silman did a fantastic job writing and
Jacob
directing
Sylvan's
and
not listening
editing.
to this podcast.
Shout out to Jacob. Awesome.
How do you choose, Carl?
I just kind of let it roll. Like my main thing for me these days is if it's something that I feel like I know exactly, especially writing, I know exactly what needs to be on the page, then I just go with that. That's, I guess, called inspiration, which is not always something that I have. And so when I don't know, I have priorities like that I've kind of been working on laying out over years. Like I used to overload. I used to have like 12 projects going at once. And how many of those do you think I finished? Like 0. So I've been trying to trim it down, having, maximum.
I don't know if that's true. You finish a lot of stuff. You did the comic book, finished that.
Yeah, but this is from an era of time when I was like, you know what, I need to have 2 projects at once max and finish, 1 and move on before I like start loading them up. But it's a tough call to make. And as a team too, we're also like trying to decide how to do the work that we do. So we have options. We can try and write another show. If sketch show is too hard to sell, which we keep hearing, then is there a narrative show that we could write? Or should we go another route and write a feature? We've kind of taken both paths, but like what's the journey like for us as a team when we're trying to figure out what to do next? Sid.
Well, I wish I had that answer.
Me too.
It's not very clean cut. And when I look back at this question, it's actually a little messy. But I think the sketch, like we were very focused. We had a really great game plan where we were having these writers meetings. We were showing up with our 10 ideas a week. Some of us successfully and some not, going and writing these sketches separately. We had this goal that and it was very specific. Now it's a little different because I think it's very easy to get swayed by the industry. Oh, you should do this. Oh, you should we're looking for a narrative pilot. Oh, you guys should work on a feature. And it comes back to us really bouncing ideas around and things that we feel passionate about and that we get excited about working as a team. But we have this podcast, to be honest, that was another thing where we had a goal and we really learned how to do this and made it a priority in our schedule. And then next time Carl's pointing at the camera guy. If yes, we have a camera guy. Did you hear that? It's
Right. Operator.
But if you're
I'm
on
gonna say
YouTube,
guy.
you'll see a person.
Thank you.
Ooh, it's 2023. Time
2022 and
Time
2021.
check. Right. I just caught up to it now here in 2023. I'm rambling. Somebody stop me. Mike, tell us, how do we choose these projects?
No, I think a great way for us to find a stopping point in what you're saying is to take a little break.
Podcasters. This Sunday, come on down to the BJCC Ultimate Arena for the Sid and Mike Podcasting Equipment Sale Fire Sale.
Everything must go!
XLR. We've got cables. We've got microphones. Sure, SM58.
We've got things that plug into other things that'll make your sound come out great!
Jib arm. Get the Joby reticulating arm that you always wanted for a great price. Tascam MixCat 4. We don't need a podcast anymore, so buy our equipment. We got a deal.
We got too much stuff! It gotta go!
We're gonna record audio on our cell phone. We're filmmakers, not sound makers.
I don't know what you're thinking!
This is our final episode.
And we're back talking today
Yeah, we're
about
back. Very
picking
excited.
your choice.
Picking your project.
That's what it is.
I'm so excited. We have an awesome guest today.
That's right. She's an actor and a producer and a writer and a snowboarder. You may have recently seen her on Mayor of Easttown. She's also learning how to perform on the flying trapeze.
I also heard she's a Broadway singer.
Oh, we're talking to Dana Kreitz.
Hello.
Yay!
Hey, yo.
Thank you for being here with us.
I'm excited to be here, and I love that intro. Thank you.
Look
Welcome.
at all these multi-hyphenates joining together to chat it out on the pod.
We're excited that you're here.
I'm excited to be here.
I just will go right out and say a little birdie called Your Instagram Story just told me that you finished writing a feature film yesterday.
That is true. It is my first feature film that I ever wrote.
That's
Congratulations.
awesome.
Tell us everything.
It feels insane, like actually crazy.
How many pages?
It's like 84.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
fantastic.
I think it needs like a little bit more. Some of the scenes are like, this is a scene where this happens. And
That's
then there
where
are
you
some
wanna be.
words that are just shoved in there. And I'm like, this is bad writing.
That's where you want to be. Whenever we have a script that's a little too long and I send it to Mike, I know that it's going to get a little longer because he's going to have ideas for jokes.
Yeah.
So it's like now the goal is to make the script short so then I can put Mike's jokes in and it'll be the right length.
So yeah, mine definitely is like, oh, this needs jokes here. Somebody else, please help me make it funnier.
You'll get them.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Genre? Anything you could tell us about it? Do you want to keep it all?
Bro, I don't even know. So this is the first time I ever wrote anything this long. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep writing. And then I'm like following all my characters and being like, what are you doing? And I have no idea how to describe it at all. Like, I know what it is. We'll get there. I'll come back on
How
the
did you
podcast.
decide to write this story, whatever it is, this mystery story?
It's not a mystery.
That's in her heart.
Okay, wait. So I have written some short stories and some short films, and I wrote like a pilot for a web series and some other like content and shit. And then I haven't booked acting work in a little bit, like pandemic and then life and whatever, blah, blah, blah. The struggle, the hustle, et cetera, et cetera.
It's real.
The struggle is real. So on Halloween, I was at a party hosted by my friend Amber. She hosts like this big, there's like a drag show. I got a tattoo. There was a snake. I don't know, a whole to-do. And then there was a tarot card reader and he drew all my cards. And then he was like, oh, you have to write the script. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, okay, I guess I need to write the script. And then I did. And I
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
I sat down every day with like these ideas that I've been
It's just that easy, folks.
It's not at all. I've been tossing around these ideas. At some point, this story was a musical, and then it was like a multi-part series. I don't know.
We of all people know just how hard what you accomplished is, and it is a huge feat to finish. To start is a huge feat. Just to get started is a huge feat. Then to finish is even crazier.
I
So,
actually don't
congratulations.
know what it feels like because I have never written a feature film, which is it's something that we're actually the three of us working on right now. And we're in the very beginning stages. And so I am super impressed.
Thanks, dude.
inspired, motivated, all the things.
Yes, jealous, maybe jealous with rage.
We
Totally
don't know.
fair.
We do not have jealousy on this podcast or in our life. We do not compare ourselves to others, Carl.
No,
I
Carl
hate when
was-
people are doing well.
Carl was just showing us what the haters gonna say.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right,
legit.
Haters gonna
prepare
hate.
yourself for that. He was just it was a
That's
bit.
true.
Actually, I should mention, by the way, if you are a hater, just drop us your address, your physical address. We're sending free T-shirts to our haters. If you want to just jump on the YouTube and put a comment, like tell us that we don't know what we're doing, or that we need to shut up, or that we should stop, and give us your address, and we'll send you a shirt.
Send your actual address to sydandmikenyc@gmail.com and send your hate mail to sydandmike@gmail.com.
It's important you get that right.
Yeah, and just include your shirt size, please. A lot of people said they wanted a shirt the last time we offered shirts, and nobody included any sizes, so we were not able to send any out.
Right.
We sent out infant shirts.
Yeah. I hope you all enjoyed your tiny little shirts. You can put them on, like, I don't know, a teddy bear or something.
Or an infant, whatever.
Sure.
Some people have children.
That's true. But how long are those infants that size? You know what? This actually brings me to my next point. Is there a draw to the is there an attraction to the multi-hyphenate life, or is it just something that you just find yourself in?
This is a question. Oh,
Ooh.
Hey, Walter.
Walter wanted to speak up about that one. I'll rephrase. A lot of times when I was coming up in, I did theater in college, and they would tell me, you need to focus on one thing. You need to, if you want to write plays, you need to write plays and stop going to acting classes. If you want to act, you need to stop like doing all this, spending all this time writing and trying to produce your work. And like, I hated hearing that, and I never listened. And I think that maybe 10 years after that of never listening, I realized where they were coming from, because it is hard. And when you don't have that focus, then it gets harder to finish things, but it also gets harder to know how to start things. And so was that similar for you?
yeah. For me, I think there's been quite a bit of a back and forth on that, because like for a long time I was like, I'm just an actor. And then I sort of fell into producing, like in theater, and then producing some film work. And I was like, oh, I like producing. I'm good at it. And learning the production side of stuff has actually helped my acting. Like the first time I had an acting job after I had a production job, I was like, oh, I know what everybody's doing, because nobody tells actors what's happening, literally at all, ever. And so you show up on set and you're like, oh God, I'm a tiny baby and I have no clue what's happening.
And it shows.
Yeah, and you're like, oh God, what's going on? And then after I knew what was going, like I had a clue who was walking around and like saying things or doing things. I was like, oh, this is less terrifying. Now I just know I need to do my job. So I think they they feed into each other. But also recently I was looking for a mentor, and I went to a producer and I was like, hey, I wear all these hats. I do all this fun stuff. And she was like, yeah, just don't tell people that. And I was
Right.
like, okay.
I you know what? I disagree with that. I think that wearing multiple hats has been the biggest, while it has been like the hardest thing personally for me to navigate. And like I said earlier this year, I was getting really frustrated. I have found that like every job I've been on, and us even making our own stuff and professionally, I have gotten my jobs because I wear all these hats. Right now, my job, they joke that I'm jack of all trades, master of some, because I'm like filling in for all these people. And it actually, it is a benefit. You get into a certain flow of really, it's like a juggling act, right? And once you're in it, you're doing it. And so I think it just takes practice.
Do you think that jack of all trades is a gendered term? Maybe is starting to fall out of
Jackie
fashion.
of all trades.
There we go.
Jill.
Here she is. Jill of all trades.
Anybody? We'd like to in the comments. If you could join us in the comments and help us come up with a new term for jack of all trades, we'd really appreciate it. And then we'll pass that to the industry.
So another question is, like, when you're choosing a project, does budget or the chance that it would get sold impact what you're making? Or are you really going from like your heart of what you just want to make? Does any of those cross over?
Both. So like I've made projects where it's like, okay, we're going to make it with a really strict like budget in mind, and we're going to call in all our favors. We're going to have all of our friends work on projects with us, and that's awesome. And then sometimes it's like, I'm out of favors. I don't have any more favors to call. I don't have anybody else who will do this.
Been there.
Yeah, right? And you're like,
Yeah, we're there right now.
Cool.
We will be there for the
That's
rest
why
of
we
our
started
lives.
a podcast.
And it's like, how do you get a budget? I don't know. I wrote a short film and I wrote it and then I like made a line item budget and like a shooting schedule. And I was like, can I make this on a budget that's attainable? And I was like, yes, cut out extraneous characters, make the scenes all fit. And I was like, great, we can do it. And then the feature I wrote, I was like, I don't know, we're just writing whatever the hell we're writing.
I think that when you're writing something that, it depends on, I like to write without thinking about, is this realistic to get made? Mm-hmm. You just write what you want to write. And then like, once you finish it, then you decide, okay, is this thing good? Is it worth making? And if the answer is yes, then you're like, all right, well, how are we going to make it? I like reverse engineer it from that way. And I can always figure out how to make a scene, smaller or, take parts out of it.
Wow. You got her with that one. You got her with that one.
I can't think of any examples right now.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but I'm gonna keep my eye out for it.
What? No, I'll think of one. Hold on.
You're good at cutting in the edit, but in the writing process, I would not say that.
Really?
But I think you're really great at. I think you have an ability to just detach from, that we're gonna kill that baby and we have to cut it in the edit. But when it comes to writing,
it's so hard.
You love to pack in those jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Carl on that. Sorry, dog.
We're coming down hard on you today. Yeah, we've got you surrounded.
Every week I have to sneak in a sneak diss, like Diss and Mike.
This sneak diss was brought to you by Sid.
Bully Sid here with the sneak diss.
So I snuck it into the intro, but I learned very recently that you're a snowboarder.
Yeah.
And you've been out on the mountains since you were very young, and you also are learning trapeze.
Oh,
I think you know the ribbon, like the silks and stuff too, like aerials.
Yeah.
What is that part of you? Like, explain
geez.
it. Explain it. Make us understand. You're supposed to be a writer or an actor. You're supposed to pick one thing.
No. Also, I like hobbies that I'm not trying to monetize. That's really fun for me. Is like stuff that I can do that has nothing to do. I love this industry. I love the entertainment industry. I love creating stories. I love acting. Like, I want to do it all the time. And then also, sometimes I want to go do stuff that I'm not trying to make money at. Snowboarding, being on a mountain, I've been doing since I was like 4. I don't know. Like,
oh my gosh, that's too young.
Yeah, I grew up on the mountain.
They should raise the age.
I don't know if there's a minimum age. I've seen the little tiny
I
ones.
started when I was very little too, but I don't keep up with it like you.
I still snowboard. I actually I didn't do flying trapeze yesterday because I hurt my arm snowboarding on Thursday.
Oh,
so it's okay. Like, it's not. I can sort of.
If you're only listening, if you're not watching on YouTube, she is moving her arm in a
just
full
waving
motion.
it.
Yeah, she's got
wildly.
full flexibility in her arm.
So you would say that hobbies are important, and you would advocate for all of our listeners here to also have hobbies.
100%.
I have a question, Carl, Mike. What are your hobbies?
A 2.5-year-old little girl.
Yes,
named
the
Simone.
most important of all.
No, I had a kid 2.5 years ago, and she is she's not a hobby, but she's like the most
time.
fun. She's got new hobbies. She's in gymnastics now, and so
Oh my God.
taking her to
Speaking of-
gymnastics that's definitely my.
Did she like
It's
ice skating?
amazing. She loves ice skating. We took her ice skating at Woolman Rink, and there's like a little like
Woman rink?
Woolman Rink. There's like a little
there a man rink?
a little thing that you push around and they sit
Woolman.
on it. It's great.
I want to come to a gymnastics class. That's going to be my hobby.
You're
is
welcome.
going to watch Simone do gymnastics.
You're welcome. She's been twice. She's crushing these other kids.
That's
I don't
of
know if
course
it's
she is.
competitive, but
Of
she's
course.
crushing these kids.
Does she tell them that they're doing it wrong? Has she picked that up yet from
No,
her dad?
She's super positive. She does her flips.
Aw.
It's amazing.
Carl, you got any hobbies?
Yeah, my hobbies are podcasting, writing sketch comedy, setting up light stands.
Hey, you took my answer.
No, I really right now the big one is cooking, and I'm so happy to have that back in my life. I worked hard to get it back there. I feel like I lost it for a while, and I was ordering to-go food all the time, and I was just like looking at all the plastic and forks and crap that they send you every time you order to go. And it's cost so much money. And
Don't you feel better cooking?
I feel so much better cooking.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
healthier. It tastes great. It's less waste, and I'm spending less money. I'm going to advocate everyone go out there and find a recipe, keep the ingredient number low and make something.
Email us, comment the recipe you made. Tell us, because we want to try it out. Tell us if it was good.
Say you had a hard Monday, you worked all day, you got home and you got nothing and you don't have any. What's your go-to thing to make for dinner? And
while you're
don't say ramen.
while you're listening to this podcast, because we know you're listening to this podcast while you're making dinner, which is such a perfect time to listen. And just hit us up and let us know. I like that, Carl.
Yeah. So
why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing because we've talked about our hobbies for a long time now, and I wanted to.
Sorry, Carl's getting us back on track. Carl, tell us what's next.
Dana.
Wait, but I love hobbies.
Well, I mean, we started with your hobbies, I guess, but I wanted to get back into the subject matter, which was for me, how do you decide when you have to set the personal projects aside for a little while and dig into the stuff that you know is going to pay? Like we mentioned earlier, the industry is starting to kind of bubble back to life, and there are more acting jobs out there. Mike said he was auditioning all week. I know that you were auditioning earlier today, doing self-tapes and stuff. How do you balance all that?
I don't know.
Well, you do.
I don't know if there's a great answer to that. It changes all the time. For me anyway, auditioning is always priority because auditioning is the job. So even when I have other stuff going on, I always have to make that a priority. I always have to find the time, put it in the calendar. If it's get my husband to help tape with me, or get my sister, or get a friend on Zoom, or whatever. But it's make sure that that's the thing.
Could you expand on that a little bit though? Auditioning is the job, when you said that, because I feel like that's a really important piece of information that a lot of actors miss out on in the early stages of their career.
Yeah, totally. Because I feel like you're auditioning is interviewing. And I feel like people say that all the time too, where you're you have a huge failure rate because you're interviewing all the time and not getting the job. And I'm no, man, auditioning is the job. Getting an audition is a win. And auditioning is making connections. Even if you don't get the job today, you're meeting the casting director. Maybe the producers are seeing your tape. Maybe you're reading with another cool actor who is going to be somebody you're going to work with in the future, or you're coaching with your coach and you're building a relationship with an acting coach or whatever that is. So doing the auditioning is the job. And I know actors who still, it's oh, I can't do this audition because I only have 2 days. And yeah, the turnarounds are crazy, but I only have 24 hours, 48 hours, and I have to go to this other job. And yeah, it's hard. And sometimes you got to take a nap. I get that. But
you got to find that time.
You have to. You have to make it a priority.
Yeah. Sid's been my reader, and Sid's I've booked with Sid as my reader.
Yo, if you want a book, baby, hit me up because I'll read with you.
I'll call you next time.
Yeah.
We should maybe get Sid as a sponsor for the podcast one week for all her reading that she does. Yeah. Do you think you have an easier time finding a reader because you have a twin sister?
No, it's because I have a husband who's also an actor who also thinks that auditioning is the job and wants to make it a priority. So even when he's tired, I'm yo, we got to make time for this audition. He's okay, I'll make coffee. You set up. We'll get this done before we go on our days. It's pretty awesome. I know, he's great.
That's great.
He's so cool. But also auditioning, even though it's hard, it's it can be fun. It is still a chance to do the acting, And I'm all about just seeking joy, man. Everything's too hard.
It is, yeah. You have to make auditioning fun.
Yeah.
You have to get to a place where you're enjoying it. Because if you're, I think that when I was first starting to get auditions, it's very, it's nerve wracking and you are insecure. But the more you do it, the better you get at it, and you just have to start resetting your mind and resetting the way that you think about it, and think about it as an opportunity to have fun and to play and especially now with self tapes, you can take a big swing. You can take bigger swings because you know that you are only going to send one take. So
I think it's also the finding the joy in auditioning. It's finding the joy in life and all the things that we're doing. Everything can feel really hard. And just what you said, your whole mindset in general, I think can be applied to every area of your life.
No, this is specifically for acting. If you don't find joy in anything else that you're doing, this is just for act. This is just for us.
I got you.
All right, yeah, we're gonna tune
Welcome-
into your new podcast.
Welcome to the Acting Hour with Mike and Dana.
Oh no.
This is a
Here we
podcast
go.
where two actors talk about acting and how much fun it is.
Actors on acting.
Oh yikes.
Hey, so Dana, what advice would you give somebody that is trying to decide what to work on next? You know, whether they're an actor or not.
Oh man.
I feel like that was pointed directly at me.
I think I'm going to go back to like seeking joy, and this is a pretty it's a new-ish idea for me, but I think it's really important and really drives what I do now. Is like what's interesting to me, what's calling to me, what feels satisfying, and I don't just mean that in like an indulgent way. I mean that in like whether it's like purpose-driven or impactful for the world or like whatever, or something that just feels really freaking fun. Like what. I don't know what feels good. It sounds like it's like woo woo. It's like, what does your intuition tell you?
We do woo woo here.
That's how we start every show.
Sid's our resident woo woo.
Shout out to Yoga with Adrian and Find What Feels Good. It's a real thing, okay?
Yeah.
It's a real thing. It's very important. It's not a new thing for me, but it's something that I have to work on daily.
I got one last thing about the picking a project and the being a multi-hyphenate and working in the creative field in a lot of different parts of the creative field. Touching off something you said is that you have your husband who helps you with the acting. He helps you stay, like you always have a scene partner or something like that. And we've all built support systems of different types. And like the three of us and our producer, Sasha, are a support system for this podcast, and we are able to get more things done because we have a reliable support system. What is the key to recognizing when you found somebody who can act as a support system for you in this creative field? Is there such a thing?
Good question.
They do what they say they're going to do.
I love that.
That's huge. That's huge, dude. Because, I mean, you did mention my sister before, too. Like, my sister and I, we have a production company together. Like, I have other friends that I'm frequent collaborators with in addition to my husband. And we all hire each other because we trust that they're going to show up when they say they're going to show up. And, like, that sounds like really base level requirement, but so many people don't show up when you ask them to show up, you know? And so you have these people around you who you trust to do their job. And ideally, you like them and you like their work. Hopefully.
We have fun together.
Fun is cool too. I like fun.
Teamwork makes the dream work. One team, one dream.
Yeah. Communication. I think communication, because you mentioned trust, and I think one of the best ways to build trust is through solid communication.
Yeah. Mike and Carl and I attend group therapy, and it's been working really well.
Group.
It's actually
Group text therapy.
This podcast
I
is
feel like I
actually
saw a video about
our
that. You guys are
therapy
therapy.
Well, we go to Carl's therapist.
Yeah, we actually go to Carl's
Right, yeah.
therapist.
We ask Carl questions to ask his therapist, and then he relays back the messages.
Yeah, she told me I couldn't tell you guys what she said last week. She
Something-
heard about this. She said, "Don't do that."
Just to follow up on what you were talking about support systems and people, I think another huge one is just somebody that supports your dream and like really does, because and really like gets an understanding of how hard it is, because everybody knows that like a career in the arts is difficult. Just because it's just common knowledge that it's difficult. But when you're actually on that path, and when you're with somebody that's on that path, you get to see really how hard it is. And it's just, there's just so much rejection, and it's so much work, and it's so much self-starting work that you're having to do yourself. And you need somebody, you need to choose a partner that is going to really support that. And I mean, it's just as simple as that. You have to have that.
What's awesome is that if you don't have a partner, none of this matters.
Yeah, I was gonna throw some slight shade.
It's okay.
Keep it to myself.
I can throw the shade on myself. It's okay. I have you guys. That's all I
do
need.
have us.
That's all I need.
And Walter.
Oh boy.
Dana, where can people find you online if you want them to find you online?
I'm very Googleable.
Oh.
You can just search my name.
Sexy answer.
This is my my sexy voice. Dana Kreitz. Just Google that ish, and you can find my Instagram or my website. Or I used to have a Twitter. I'm pretty sure I deleted it. I hope I deleted it because I hate it there.
We're gonna, drop the info in the show notes. Faux show.
Cute.
Yeah, audience, we're looking for $8 a month to get Dana the blue check mark on Twitter. Just send it. You can Venmo at Sid and Mike, and we will get that to her.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So at Dana Kreitz on Instagram, which you didn't say, but that is what it is, and
yes.
Your name and all that Googling and your website, guys. We're rolling into the next segment of the show.
Here we go.
And Dana, feel free to participate with us if you want. Most people do. No pressure. It's called Fake Pitches.
Hella pressure.
Our producer, Sasha, has gotten a new gadget for us, and it is called...
Whoa! It's a spinner!
It's the Wheel of Sketches. And I'm going to take a video of it on my phone that we can include on the YouTube video.
My
But
Wow,
he's
look at
gonna
the technology.
He's going to spin the wheel.
I don't know what we're getting into.
And
Oh, it's spinning!
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited right now.
Okay, and the wheel is spinning, and it has landed on tarot.
Oh, see? It's
Tarot.
All right.
Yo.
So if you...
Oh, so now, that tells us what we're gonna be.
Well, this is crazy
using
because
to draw.
tarot.
That's why I wrote this movie.
Tarot is why she wrote a screenplay.
and Sasha...
Everything is coming full circle.
Open
full
that drawer right
card.
there, and you see those color...
I'm drinking out of the
the
five
color
of cups.
cards.
We've had some.
Yeah.
We've had some really interesting.
We're actually...
some kismet type
So,
wild stuff.
We're actually
happening with
not.
the cards.
We're actually not using. We're using the Prism Oracle deck. It is not actual tarot. Am I doing it?
Yeah, you're pulling a card.
Are we
And
doing
today,
one or
as a
two?
team, we're all going to do our own, and this time the title is dictated by the words
Wait,
given.
we're each doing our own.
each get our own separate
Pitch.
property.
And just so you know, it can be. We're doing a little elevator pitch here. It can be any sort of medium. It can be a pilot. It can be a movie. It can be a. Are we doing books?
Yeah,
it could be
books, yeah.
documentary.
Oh,
It
how about
could
a
be
podcast?
Podcast,
audio,
a cartoon.
audio book.
It could be a brand
It
campaign
can
for
be
Adidas.
an adult coloring book. Whatever you want. Right?
And
Are we ready?
Here we go. Sid is
All
shuffling
right.
through the cards, and she's drawing one.
Movement
Movement is the first word.
and love.
Movement love is the title of the property. Movement love.
And it doesn't have to be.
That's the title of the property.
This time it is the title.
Oh,
and
okay.
30 seconds is on the clock. Anybody who wants to jump in.
All right.
Movement
Love is a game show coming to Fox, where three contestants.
Three contestants.
They will have a movement, and another contestant will choose the one that they love based on a BM.
Wow.
Tune into Fox.
Holy shit.
Holy shit is the actual tagline of the show.
I think you just shut down this whole game with that pitch. Like, that is the pitch.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Tune into Movement Love and get some love moving.
God, man, I just want to talk about episodes of that show. Like, do you think they're still together? Like, how do you think the first date went?
Well, Terry Crews is the host of the show, and he gets real amped up. He gets real excited about everything.
Movement Love is the podcast by Carl and Mike where they each rub off on each other and they talk about movement love to get the love moving. You can tune in after this episode. It'll be their premiere and they'll just be rubbing off all over each other.
Well, you know what, folks? I think I'm tuning into that.
Yeah, folks, come on down.
Oh my God.
Come on down to Movement Love. You can check it out.
Sid, I'm really glad you brought that up. No, that was Carl rubbing off on me.
Oh, this is good.
Why do I suddenly want to do self-tapes? This is so weird.
It's the actor
I'm
podcast.
becoming
It's
Mike.
the actor hour.
Are you feeling joyful?
I'm feeling joyful.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Movement Love is an interpretive dance piece that is showing right now at the in downtown. It's in Washington Square Park every night. No tickets. Please film it as much as you can, but just use the hashtag Movement Love 2023. You'll notice if you see people dressed in all black doing backbends and jumping over each other, that's our show. Please come film it. We could not afford a crew, so like anybody who has a camera, come down. Movement Love. It's going to be in the park until June, and we'll be there every day, like all day.
Question, like,
basically.
are people sending us the videos, or are they just posting them and tagging?
Yeah, no, just post them, and we've got an intern who's going to kind of comb through all the videos you put online, and then we'll put a big supercut together at the end.
I like that.
I love a supercut.
Oh,
Ew,
yeah.
Those are my fave.
I'm a big fan of a supercut. Yeah, we're doing that gurgle supercut right now. Every time somebody gurgles or coughs or burps, it's coming
Ew.
along nice. Dana?
As far as I'm concerned, Movement Love is like a dance piece orgy that's happening in Bushwick. It's probably at House of Yes every Friday night, like 11 p.m. Everybody can get their move on, and come down.
So it's an event. It's a live event.
Yeah, of course, Obvi.
I
a live event.
love that.
Event- love a live
Is there an
event.
Eventbrite for
Yeah,
tickets?
of course.
I
It's
heard
either
ab-
like free or $100 depending
I
on
heard
which
about
button you
that.
We'll put a
push.
link in the show notes.
They're putting together something to send out to Burning Man.
Burning
they're putting
Man.
together like a whole
A
team
co-pro,
from House of Yes. They're gonna drive their RV all the way out there. Dance all the way along.
Yeah,
I heard
it's
about
a
that.
dance orgy movement party.
I don't
Yeah.
want to spoil anything, but you guys, Carl, Mike, you guys are going to get an email tomorrow because it turns out that they want to sponsor you.
Oh my God. This is huge. We're going to get so much new equipment, and we're going to start so many new podcasts.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
it's.
Wait, I know where we can actually get some really cheap equipment for our podcast.
Oh, yeah? Where?
Yeah, there's a
Fire show happening on Sunday. Sunday. Come down to the Civic Center.
Man, I think we just did it again.
Dana, are you feeling motivated? Would you say you're feeling motivated?
I'm hella motivated.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We like that.
We love to motivate people, and we're doing it here every week. You can catch us at Sid and Mike on YouTube and Instagram. You can go to our website, www.sydandmike.com. You could email us at sydandmikenyc@gmail.com. And we're looking for those emails. I mean, a few weeks ago, Mike mentioned if you have a project that you're working on, to tell us about it, and that you wanted to make some progress in a week, and we would check up on you. We've gotten hundreds of emails.
Hundreds.
We're combing through them now.
Please keep sending those
Got a
emails. We
team
love
of
reading them.
interns. Team of interns is combing through those emails right now, trying to find.
And to
the
all
best
those
ones.
people that have been telling us that we saved their lives, like we see you, and we love you too.
That's
and
huge. That's why we do this.
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 That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dana. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming.
Dana.
Hey, would you come back?
Sure.
Awesome.
Call me.
Can't wait. I'm going to go watch Mayor of Easttown because I've never seen any of it, and I owe it to myself to check it out.
I'm really proud of us.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm proud of our listeners.
I'm so. Hey, listeners, we got a message from my high school football coach, just for you listeners out there.
Hey y'all, I just wanted to say I'm so proud of all you. I'm so proud of each and every one of y'all, and I love y'all so much. And everything you're doing, listening to this podcast is a huge accomplishment. Okay,
Coach Carl, thank you for calling in. We love when you call in.
Well, Sid, that was
Thanks,
just
Coach.
that was just a voicemail that he left us, but I'll tell him.
He left for our listeners.
Yeah, he left for the listeners.
Yeah,
and
all right.
we'll let him know what you said, but.
I thought that the mixer could allow people to call in. I'm confused.
It does. Guys, check our addendum episode where we go through all of the functions of the Tascam Mixcast
Or
mixer.
just show up to the
Fire sale!
Come down.
Fire sale!
We've got mixers, laptops, SD cards, and if you do it right now, we'll leave this hit song on it for you.
That's our show.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
Comedy Filmmakers Motivation Monday, the podcast, is a production of Dark Matter Entertainment and Phantom Strain Pictures.
Our producer is Sasha Nonas Barnes. Our theme song is by Joseph Colmenero.
You can find us online on YouTube or Instagram at Sid and Mike, or email us at sydandmikenyc@gmail.com.